Okay, so for Astragalomancy, Astragalomancy is the divination method of using dice and maybe casting bones too. In my research I saw that people always refer it to casting bones too, some types of bones. And I have this set of D&D dice, just like this one that I put here. Like, wait for the page to load. I have this set of dice, and in my researches, one thing that I love about these dice, specifically these 5, the D4, D6, D8, D12, and D20, is that in their conception, when these solids were discovered and studied for the first time on ancient Greece, they were related. The philosophers related them to the 5 elements. So I decided to create my own system using these dice here. And I don't use these two because I don't see any connection with them and like elements and stuff like that. But some people use them for like percentages, to work with percentages on a specific question, on specific readings. You can do that too. They are here. I use mine physically because I have them, but if you don't have them, you can use the simulator that I put here, and I already put the 5 that I have definitions for. So let's go. I created my own system with this, and let's go to this dashboard here, this polyhedra, where I explain each number. So I have a card for each number, and we have a table here so you can see more easily each thing and their correspondence. So I have the dice, so I have D4, D6, D8, D12, and D20. And these numbers are the numbers of side on each dice. The D4 is related to the fire element. Each one is related to an element, and you can study the Platonic solids and you're going to find out about it. But I defined the D4 as an elemental dice, so I use it to work with the 4 elements, and each element has like a correspondence meaning. The D6 I used relating to the chess pieces, so I have the king, the queen, the bishop, the knight, the rook, and the pawn. There are only these 6 different pieces on chess, and I like the symbolism of them. Also, I have the D8 relating to the Chinese bagua. I have a little bit of the meaning of them here. The D12 is relating to the signs of the zodiac, and again, I have a time correspondence with them. Okay, it's not a full correspondence. You can use the full sign correspondence, but I defined these specific correspondence to each of them. And I have the D20, which is a completely defined by me elements, and I have 20 elements, from the void, which means not the lack of something, the desire, emptiness, to the infinity, which means spiritual protection, overpowering cycles. I have all of these items here, and the side of the dice they are referring to, and the correspondence they have in my reading. So if I were to do a reading, I use only the 5 dice that I told you about because I like their correspondence with the classical elements, and I just throw it, and I have in ascending order. 3 is the dice with 4 sides, 6 is the dice with 6 sides, 8 is the dice with 8 sides, 5 is the dice with 12 sides, and 6 is the dice with 20. So I have my dice in order here, so I can put the numbers here. Look, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 20. And I just add this here. Like, let's say this was a daily reading. I like to do daily readings with this method, but you can do specific readings about a specific question. You can ask, how should I react to this situation or to this opportunity, or things like that. I don't know, you find your own questions. And here I can put my numbers. So for example, the 3 was the D4, so let me put here 0, 3, and I want to select this one, D4. Great, now it's here. It's the water representation. The 6 is the 6 sides, the D6, and also the number 6. So I come here to the D6 and I put the number 6, and I make sure to select this one, D6, okay? It's the dice with 6 sides, the palm, and I do the same for the other ones. I'm going to delete this reading and show you the log here. So in the log, you have the log of all your readings. I have one example here for you. So here are the ones I took as an example. And you only have to fill up this section here. That's why it's the only thing that is showing up here. 20, 12, 8, 6, and 4. What are the numbers you got for each of these dice? You fill up here. As you can see, I have all the numbers here. And once you fill up everything, automatically it's going to pull up all the representations for each one of these dice. So you have here, the D20 is the what, the D12 is the when, the D8 is the why, the D6 is the how, and the D4 is the who. Okay, besides these specific like representations of what, when, why, how, and who, I have like other keywords here that you may find that are helpful to your reading, so you can use them. And I usually do my readings in the following way. I make a general interpretation of what these meanings are giving me, so I write them between these brackets. Okay, so I put brackets and write my personal reading, my personal interpretation, and along the day or along the period, the situation, I journal about what happened, what I found that corresponded with each thing here. And sometimes it's really useful because something happens and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is exactly what this part was trying to tell me and I didn't understand perfectly on my reading. So it's a way of you to keeping track and getting a little bit more attuned with your dice, and also it's a way of you to getting more knowledge on that situation, understanding better how to read on next iterations of these formats. Another thing that this dashboard does is calculate the number for these dice. So it does like a numerology evaluation, summing everything up to and reducing to a single digit, and then it gives me a meaning for that single digit, so you can also do that. The reason this reading specifically is not showing on this dashboard is because, as I said, I do daily readings, so I put a filter rule here to show only the readings that are from yesterday and today. So it's going to get the date, which is automatic. Once you create a reading, it automatically generates the time for that reading. And it shows me only the recent ones. Okay, so if I want to go to old ones, I can come in here. And once I created a reading, so let me just create a new one here. Like, I'm going to just put anything here. Okay, I'm not worrying about what I put in here. Okay, I'm putting just these two numbers. By the way, you can only read like a few numbers. If you don't want to use all the dice, you can use only a few. And once I select it here, it shows me a preview of the meanings and the numerology here. So I can journal down here. So everything is going to show up here. If I deselect, everything goes empty. If I select, everything goes back on here. And that's how it works. So this is exactly what I showed you on the log. So just separate it. So you can see here your overall reading. This is automatic. You don't edit this. This is also automatic. You don't edit this. It's calculating based on the numerology. And this one is the journaling, so you can edit it here, okay? And in the dice here, if you don't want to use all these dice, you can clear and select only the ones you want to use. And you can throw only those ones, okay? And the order that the numbers appear here is based on the order that you selected the dice. So first is the 4, next is the 8. Okay, so you can even use these D10 dice that you have, the D10 and the D100, to look at percentages. As I said, some people do that, but I don't. I only use the other 5. And if you want to go back to the configuration that we had initially with my 5 elemental dice, you can select them, or, for example, let's say we have this different configuration here. If you toggle and open it again, it's going to just reload the page on the default that I put for you. Okay, so this is my personal developed method of Astragalomancy with my meanings. You can change the meanings if you want. You can modify it here if you acquire this specific dashboard with all the information, and change the reference here. Okay, so this is a magical tool that I use a lot and I love. It really works for me. It's crazy how it worked, how I infuse my energy on it. And if you want, you have it available on the link that I'm going to leave in the description of these videos. In the next one, we're going to see the candles.